Hello guys, welcome to another video tutorial by Nocode Africa, and in this tutorial you're going to learn how to build an About Us page within FlutterFlow. Alright, so it's going to be a desktop view just like you've seen here. Alright, I'm going to show you how to design this particular page, just this particular page within FlutterFlow, and with this particular knowledge you can actually get to use it to design other pages for your your website or your web application. Okay, it's going to be a very simple concept that you will be able to understand. It's totally beginner friendly. All right, let's kickstart. I will be a little bit fast, but I will try to explain some things slowly. Okay, good. All right, so we're going to be using FlutterFlow, of course, which helps you to build application faster than ever. And you need to go to your dashboard. If at all you don't have an account on FlutterFlow, just go ahead and check the description under this video and you will see a link to click and sign up on FlutterFlow. All right, and after that just click on sign in, do all the authentication processes, and then you see yourself here in your own dashboard. Yours might be blank or empty or with other things depending on if I told you an intermediate user of FlutterFlow. Okay, so I'm going to just go ahead quickly and create a new project. So I will just call this About Us. Not necessarily About Us, let's say company website, because an About Us page is always found inside a company website. So I'll just say company website. I will click on create blank, and I won't do any of the processes that involves connecting it to Firebase, so because we're not going to be doing any backend engineering, right? So I'm gonna just skip this process totally. All right, so this is the particular page that you see, and what you need to do now is just go ahead and then check out the size of the screen that your designer has given you. All right, so this particular design is made on Figma, and so you have to check the overall size of the screen. So here I have 1440 pixel by this, so I will just have to come here to this particular part and then choose this 1440 by 900. Okay, so this is okay for me. All right, then I will take off this up bar, and the next thing I need to just quickly do is I will come back here and start working. Okay, so we're just going to be designing just one page, and that's cool for us. Okay, so let's start. How do we start with this kind of page? What we need to know first is that this is a row, and the whole of this from top to bottom is a column. So when things are stacked from left to right, that's a row. When things are stacked from top to bottom, it's a column. So this is a big column, and this particular one is a row. So we are going to have to first of all start by putting a row in this big column. Okay, so we have to go to our widget tree, and then this is the column, this was the scaffold, so we will add a row in these column. We will redo, like get to reuse several elements, right, just to make our work a bit faster. We'll show you how to reuse elements. Okay, so I have put a row. The next thing I need to put is an image, because this is a logo. So I will just first of all click on it, like I just tap twice into it, so this gives me access to the design. I will just click on here and click on export, click on export image, and that gives me the image. All right, so now I have to pay attention to the size of the image, 196 by 34 pixels. So I will come here to FlutterFlow. I've already added my row, and then I will click to add an image. So add an image here. The size is 196 by 34, so I will come here and change it 196 by 34. This is where you change the properties of your widget. So I changed that, and then I have to go ahead and then change this from network to asset, so that I can actually get to upload the image from my system. Okay, so this is the image. I just click on it and then open it. Alright, so with these now, I have put my logo inside. The next thing I need to do is I need to go ahead and check out the distance between this logo and the edge of the screen. So I have to go to inspect and then hover on the logo or just around it. I will see that from here to here is 150, and from top to this particular point is 23. So what do I do with that? Let's check it again. So 150, 23. So we will come here and say 150. So the padding on the left is 150. The padding on the top of the logo is 23. So I click on the, sorry, not the logo, on the row. okay, is 23. So that's it. So we have 23 here. So now we have it positioned properly. The next thing we need to do here quickly is we need to go ahead and then put all these drop downs, right? So these are drop down text, drop down widgets. So what we need to do quickly is we will come here, click on the row itself because we want to put the drop down widget inside the row. I'll click on that, then click on add the child to widget. Then I will search for drop down, okay? And I will see drop down. Okay, so the drop down has a white background. It has a background. I want to remove that background. So I'll click on the go to drop down style, click on the secondary color, clear the color. And then also I want to be able to copy this text and put, so I just keep clicking on the text until I can access it, and then I copy it and then bring it here. Before I bring it here, just so that you can walk a little bit faster, I always try to memorize a couple of things before I go to FlutterFlow. What do I memorize? First, I have to memorize the weight of the text and the size of the text, and possibly the font style or font type. So what I will come here to do is I have already copied the text, so I see that it's 600 by 14. Okay, so I will just go ahead and then come here to this place and change this from 400 to 600. This is the text property of the drop down, and then 600, I think that was by 16. Okay, by 14, good. And then I will go ahead and then change the hint text and paste what I copied, audit. Okay, and then of course you see it's quite closer, the audit is quite closer to the drop down itself, so I will just change this to 150. It's still quite big, so I'll say 110. Still quite big, but I think it's manageable. We can say 100. Okay, so I'll leave it like that, 100. So I think it's good now. Yeah, so what we need to do now is we can just go ahead and check out the size, the distance between these particular widgets and these ones. So it says 268. Okay, so I will click on the drop down and then give it a padding on the left to be 268. Okay, like that, we have something like this. So now I will just go ahead and duplicate these. All right, and then come here, click on this one, see the distance between the two of them, it says 40. And then I will go ahead and then click on this and change this to 40. Then I will just duplicate these, Control D to duplicate it, maybe again and again. Okay, so I have it like this. Then I have, this is going to be manage. Okay, so I just copy the manage, scroll down, change it on the hint text. Okay, so this is not, so I'll just drag it a little bit. Okay, good. And then come here to secure, copy it as well and paste it here. Okay, then come here to this particular one, copy it and paste it here. I will have to drag that a bit too. Okay, so I will drag it a bit here. Okay, good. So we have that. Then the next one is going to be about. So I will just copy that and paste it here. Okay, not there, here. Okay, so now we have we need to put a space here, but now I think something is wrong. Something is wrong because the space is not enough for us to do what we are supposed to do. I think we've taken too much space. Let's say let's go to let's come here and then go to typographies and icons, and then the font is already Poppins. Let's just change this one to Poppins as well. Poppins. Okay, so because I think everything is supposed to work just the same with this is, but let's say this is 600 by 14 and we are using 600 by 14 all through. So what is going on? We should be having the same space, but nothing. We have some very little space here for this book demo. We're supposed to have like a large space. Okay, so let's see, 100,1440. Okay, so what's happening here? Let's see, this particular icon and this 268. Okay, this 40, this is also 40. I believe all of them are 40. So have I repeated anything more than normal? I don't think so. Okay, so why don't we have enough space for this particular part? That's a bit spooky, really. Let's see, 150, of course. 150, everything looks good. Okay, I will have to come back to check that out later, but let's just go ahead and just reduce what we have here. Let's make these 200. Okay. All right, let's put a button here. So I'll click here and put a button. All right, so the button here is gonna be for these. It says Buko demo, so I will just copy the color of the button, and I'll check out the radius is 30, and that's it. Okay, I also have to check out the width and the height. So you see 134 by 40. So 134 by 40, and then the color, I paste it. No, that's not correct. This is the color. Why did it copy 90%? I think it's just not supposed to copy that 90%. It's still the same thing. It's supposed to just copy only this one. So I will just copy this. Okay, so and paste it here. Okay, then the border radius is 30. Okay, and what else do we need to do? Okay, so we need to change the text inside. So I'll click on it and copy. So I'll check and inspect it. It's going to be 600 by 14. That's okay. I'll just scroll down here and paste this, and then I can just say 600 by 14. This is okay. So we have our Booker demo scenario. This is good. We're on our way to doing something really good. So what do we need to do next? What we need to do next is we need to just go ahead and then set this on up. If you can see, the whole of this is a row, but this is a column. It's moving from left to right, but this is stacked from top to bottom. So first of all, we have to come here and then click and add a child to widget to the column, and then put it in a row, and then click on the row itself and put a column. All right, so inside this column we're going to have another row, and then that row is going to contain a text. Okay, good. And so what we mean here is this about us is going to be the text. So we will copy it and check the size, 700 by 50, and then I will just come here and then paste it and change the size from 400 to 700, change the font size to 50. Great, we're doing really good. And then I will just copy the colors here and then paste it here. You see, it will definitely change. Good. Now that we have this, what we need to do again is we would just be duplicating things. So like this now, this is already in a column, this row that contains the text. We would just say Control D to duplicate it. Do we have some other text? Yes, we have. So we'll just duplicate it again. We'll just click on this and Control D to duplicate it again. So we will be using it for the different text that we have here. So let's click on this, Control A to copy everything and check the size, 500 by 20. Good. I'll click here and then paste it, Control V, and then I will come here and change it to 500. I think it's 30. Was it 30 or 20? 500 by 20. Okay, so now that's it. And the next thing I need to quickly do is, things are not positioned properly here, but let's copy this black text first. Okay, it was already copied. The next thing I need to quickly do is I will just copy this one as well. Let's just do it, then we will rearrange it. Okay, so I think I'm running too fast there, but let's see. I'll paste this. Then I think it's also going to be, oh, this is 400 by 20. I believe you can see what I am talking about. This is what I'm looking at. All right, so I'm looking at the when I click on the text or a particular thing, I check out the properties here. So I'm checking out the weight, the size, and that's it. Then I'll copy the colors. Okay, so so this is gonna be 40 by 20, and then it's a gray color. I'll just click here to copy, and then I will just paste it here. Okay, and then what I need to do now is let's click on the column that contains all of these text. All right, so I will go ahead and give it a left alignment, like something around this nature. Everything comes here, and then I need to go ahead and now there are some things I would have done. Okay, so I think the first thing I need to do here is I'll try to check out the distance between this place and this place. So it says it's 150. So I'll go ahead and give it a padding of 150 on the left here. So everything shifts in like this. I have to give it a padding under, no, not necessarily from the top yet. We will do that. Or we can even take position from here. So I can click on this image and hover around here and see 88. Okay, so I will give my row, the row that contains all of these, 88, a padding of 88. Okay, good. I will show you that later. Now the next thing I need to do is see how the texts are positioned here. This is not how they're positioned in as. So what do? We have to go ahead and then click on this and see the size, the rectangle that contains the text. It says 444 by 96. So let's click on this text. All right, right click on it and say wrap widgets with a container. So it's going to be 444 by 96. All right, so we will say 444 by 96. We will clear the color of the container. Okay, and that's it. We have this scenario. And then we will do the same thing for these. We will right click on it and wrap widget with a container. We'll go to the design and click on it and see 444 by 96 again. Wow, great. So 444 by 96. We will clear the background color. And this is it. We have this scenario. Okay, so what we now need to do is we'll go ahead and add these two buttons. And sincerely, I want to just go ahead and click on this button here and just copy it. I'm copying this button, and then I will click on the column here. This is the column that contains everything. We want to put these two buttons under this column, but that means since they are stacked from side by side, this is in a row. So I will just go ahead and click on add a child to this widget, which is the column, and click on row, and then paste my button. And then not just that, I will duplicate it again. Great. So in fact, let me not duplicate it at once. Let me just click on this and change the size. So I'll click on the button and say 173 by 48 pixels. So I can just quickly copy the color. The color is different this time. Okay, so 173 by 48. 173, I'll say 173, no, 173 by 48. Okay, that's it. Then I will paste the color here is this. Okay, now that's a problem. It says copy to, but why didn't it work? All right, I'll just remove this FO, yeah, great. And then I will just copy these contactors. I like to just copy instead of type because it's more faster to just paste things. Okay, so I have this. I will just say Control D to duplicate it to have it on the right hand side. Then I will come to here and copy this book a demo. And then I will come here and paste it. Okay, great. Then I need to go ahead and copy the color of the button itself. And then this is the color of the button. So I will copy it and I will paste it. Where am I pasting it? Okay, so I'm pasting it here. Okay, so now this is good. Now I need to go ahead and do some spacing, right? So the space between the two buttons is 16, you see? Then the space between, don't worry, let's do it one by one. So this is gonna be 16. And this is, we're gonna have to space some things like this particular row that contains its text. We'll click on it, no, this one. So see there's space between here and here is 32. So I will say 32, good. And then I will click on this one and see the space is 16. So I will come to this particular row and give it a space 16. Another great work. Then I will click on this and check here, it's 32. And then I'll just click on the row that contains the two buttons and then click to change the padding on the top. Good, good, good. We're doing great work. Now the next thing we need to quickly do is we need to put another column here or just an image. Well, I would prefer you put it inside a column, but let's just put it an image. Now this is the image. So you will just go ahead and click on design and scroll down, go to export and click on export. so it exports as an image. But first of all, take a look at the size of the image. Here it says 513.31 by 550, so I'll just round it up in my mind and say 514 by 551. So I will click on the row and then click to add an image, and I will say 514 and 500 and what? 551. Okay, so 551. All right, so I'll click to change from network type to asset. I will scroll down and then click on this to upload the image, and this is the image. I paste it here. I just open it and it will show here. Great, we're very good at what we're doing. Now what we need to quickly do is we need to go ahead and give some spacing here. So let's go to inspect and then see. We'll click on this image and then come here. You see it's 74. Okay, so let's go ahead and say 74 on the right, on the left hand side. So 74 padding. It's not so correct. I would prefer to take it from the left. So I'll take 150 from the left. Okay. So sorry, from the right. So I'm taking the padding from here, 150. How do I take it 150 from here now? Okay, so what I would do is I'll just click on the row and say and use this alignment. Okay, then from there I can now click on the image itself and say 150. Good. All right, now we have this scenario. Now what we need to quickly do is we need to go ahead and then design the other parts of the pages. Okay, so the other parts are not so difficult. What we need to first of all do is, like this one for example, we need to go ahead and then put a container. So this is it. Okay, there's a problem. I don't have full access to the design. So okay, actually I do, but yeah, I get it now. I get the background. This is the background color. I get it. Okay, so that's the overall background. I see. Okay, for us to get to put this particular background on our design, right, we're going to have to do some adjustment. Let's go ahead and do some adjustment to our work, if you don't mind. This is the column itself, and it contains these rows and all of this. So in this column itself, so I will right click on the column and wrap the widget with a container. All right, the container is going to take the size of this, right? So it's I'm going to say 1440. I will say the height is infinite. Let me see, will it work? Yeah, it works. The height is infinite because it can be as long as it wants to be. Okay, great. Now I need to go ahead and copy this particular color of the background, and then I will come here and paste it. Okay, so like this. Okay, so and this works, and then let me see. Okay, so but now the things that are inside this column are supposed to be wrapped in a container that is white. Okay, no, now that we did that, let's go ahead and wrap it instead with this white container. This white, you see this particular part is white, so don't worry. What we just need to do is copy the white color and then just limit it to the height here. So the height says 815. Okay, so we will go back and click on the container and change it to 815 for the height, 815 for the height. So we are good with this. Let's change the color back to white, and good. Now what we need to do again is we need to go ahead and then wrap these. This is a container. We need to wrap it inside a column. All right, so I'll wrap widget inside a column. Fine, and then I'll wrap these big column now inside let's see, I'm gonna wrap it inside a container. Wrap widget inside a container, and then I will say 1440. This is the real background now, right, by infinite height. Good. So I will now go ahead and then come here and then click on the background and just copy this color. All right, so I will come here and paste it. I believe you're getting the gist out of this. So this is it. All right, so we have this scenario. I don't know why it's not giving me the same background. It's not giving me the same this. I don't know. my color is looking so good. So this is what I'm using, E55. This background doesn't really look like the same thing, right? So, but it's okay. The idea is for you to just understand what I mean. So this is it. And okay, so what I need to do now is I have to click on this column and make it scrollable. So I'll click on this and make it scrollable so I can actually get to scroll through these. Then let's see, this is a container for this particular part. I can open it and click on the column itself and make that one scrollable too. So but things are a bit rocky here. Things are a bit rocky. I think we should do this at the end, right? Yeah, I think we should do it at the end. At the end, we will do all of these settings, okay? We will do all of these background settings. Okay, so I'm Control Z. I'm doing Control Z, taking off a lot of things that I had already done. Okay, so this is it. We have just column and row. All right, so I have undone all the things that I did before. We will do it towards the end, okay? All right, so let's pretty move on to the next thing. So we would just use a container for this, right? So just use a container. Yeah, just use a container for this particular scenario. Let's go ahead and then say, first of all, let's make these columns scrollable. So I click on this, and then this is the column itself. So I need to add a container. So what is this container for? This container is for this other portion here. But the thing is, I don't know the size. I don't know the size of this container. So I think I will add the container at the end. All right, so first of all, I will just go ahead and then add let's see, this is gonna be a row for this text. So yes, will that work? Yes, it will work. We will figure out a way to just arrange things again. So this is the column, and we will put a row. Okay, so then in the row we will put a text, and then this is the text that we're putting inside. So I will just copy it quickly, and then I'll go ahead and paste this, Control V, and well, I always memorize something. So let's see, 700 by 40, and I copy the color of the text. Okay, so 700 by 40, 40, the color, I paste the color here, Control V, and then the padding on the left is 150. So yeah, just give it 150 here on the left and say 150. Good. Then the padding from here to here is 96. So I'll click on the row itself and say 96. Okay, good. We have these done for us. Now we need to go ahead and then start doing these cards. Okay. Now these cards are really cool, and we can do it like really fast. How do we do it? So from what I see here, what we could just simply do is let's click on this. All right, so the whole of this is a big container, and then inside this container we have an image. We have like a column first of all, then we have an image, then we have a row that has a text, and then all of these things. Then after that we will just duplicate it across and change the images. Okay, so let's go ahead and then pick it. So it says here 343 by 397. So we will just scroll down, click on the column itself, and add a row. Let's put it inside a row because it's moving from left to right. And then inside this row we will put a container, and that container is 343 by 397. So we say 343 by 397. Okay, great. And then here I would like to check the let me see, does it have some padding? It doesn't. I think it's just individually that has. So 16 is the border radius, and I think this is also 16 as the border radius. So I will alter their design a little bit. So but just put here border radius 16, And then inside this container now we're going to put a column. So there's a column. Inside this column there's going to be an image. What's the size of the image? The size of the image is 343 by 206. So we will say 343 by 206. Okay, great. So let's download these pictures. So I'll go to design, go to export, and click to export. And then the next thing I need to do while I'm gonna update that is I need to put a row and copy this text. Okay. No, Control Z. Why did this change? It's supposed to not change. Something happened. It was one line before, now it's something else. I mean, this particular text is one line, but now it says 2 lines. Okay, never mind. Let's use this. Oh, I see, when I click on it, it just changes. Alright, so let's just copy these at once. Okay, let me put this image first. This image is here. Change from network type to asset, and click on this tiny button here to upload the image. So this is the image, it's up here now. And then I will click on this column that contains all of these things, and I will just click on it and bring in a row. In the row I bring in a text. Okay, and then I will paste what I copied. So basically the size is 500 by 18. The color, I copy it. So let's come here and say 500 by 18, and then paste the color here. Good. And then that's it. We have that scenario. What we need to do now is we need to go ahead and click on this to okay, did I just mistakenly close my project? Sign in quickly. Okay, so basically what I wanted to do is just figure out the distance between these particular text and the image. So it's 16. Then from there I'll start doing this other part. Okay, so I mistakenly closed the project while trying to navigate between tabs. So FlutterFlow is trying to load up quickly. Okay, so I think it's up. Yeah, so I will just click on this and open it up, and we have our project back. So here I will just click on this and give it a padding on the top, 16, and then I will center it. Okay, so that's it. And then the next thing I need to do quickly is this particular one. I will zoom in so you can see what I'm doing. Okay, so I will copy this. First of all, let's do it like this. See, there's an image here. It's an icon actually, but we might not have this exact icon. So what I would rather do is I'll download this icon as an image. So I'll click on design after selecting the icon, then export it. Let's export this one as well, this second one here, and then I will export this one as well. Let's just quickly do it. And then here as well, export these as well. And you see all of them have almost the same dimension, 16 by 16. Okay, so while doing that I will just copy this one at once. So what we're going to do now is in these column we're going to go ahead and then let's go back to widget tree, and then we're going to add a row, right? We'll add a row. The first thing we're putting inside that row is an image. The size of the image is 16 by 16, which is the size of those icons, 16 by 16. And then we will say change network type to asset. We go and get that image. And so the first one was this phone, and then I pick it up. Okay, and then what I need to do quickly is let's look at it and see the distance between the icon, the icon and the edge here is 24. So I will just give this padding here 24. Good. Then here inside the row I'll click to add a text. What is the text? The text is the number I copied. So I will just paste it at once. I like to copy things at once so that it can make me work really fast. So here I will just copy the color, and then I will paste it here, and then that's it. We are good. What is the font size? 400 by 14. That's okay, the same thing that we have here by default. We need to know the space between these and this, so it says 8 between the text and the icon, so it says 8. So I'll come here and give it the padding on the left, 8. All right, so what we need to do again here is just check out the spacing between here and here. It says 16, and then I will just give it the row 16. Okay, and then what I need to do now is I'm gonna have to do the duplicated 3 times so it can cover for these places. So I will just say Control D again, and then here I will just copy the email here, Control C, and then paste it here for this particular space. Then come over to the location and copy it as well, and then sorry about that, and then click on this and paste it here. All right, so we have these done for us properly, and what do? Let's go ahead and then click on this. Will it work? Yes, it does work. And but now we don't have enough space. It's not spread across like this. Why is that? We will try to adjust it. Why? Okay, so it's arranging it just based on how we copied it. So let's say like this. Yeah, that's it. You see what I'm doing here? Yeah, so that's it. It's just arranging it based on how we copied it. So here says it has some spacing here, 24. So I will just add some spacing for the text here, 24, so it can properly position itself. Good. We're doing a great job. So let's click on these images, these icons now, and change them. We had already exported them, so we will just change what we have here. We put that for email, and then we will put these for the location. So I click to change it. If at all at some point you get missing, you might just have to rewatch the video. Okay, so this is it. We have this design now. What we need to do now is what do we do? Let's see, is everything good? I think everything is good. We just need to go ahead and give some padding, like some space. So if you click here and check the size, it's 150. So let's go ahead and click on the container that contains all of these things. So it says 150 on the left, so we need to give it 150 as padding. So now we have 150 as padding, and we're going to have to duplicate these container. So it's in a row, so it duplicates from left to right, and then the space here is 55.5. I will just go ahead and then click on this particular container. You have to be careful and then change the padding to, instead of 150 to 55.5. Great. And then I will click on this and duplicate it as well. All right, so this is it. But the thing is this, it's not giving me the kind of spacing that I need. This side is smaller than this side. But I think it's okay for now because it follows what we have on the top. We will change it towards the end. I will show you what to do, but let's just keep using it like this. And let's click on these and check the space between this row and this. It says 32, so this is the main row, so we will put it as 32. Good. So I will duplicate this row, and then now we have it also under. So this is gonna give place for all of this, so you can later on change the images and all of that. We will move a little bit faster to this particular part. Okay, so let's see what we can do. Let's go ahead and then work on this particular part. We will quickly come here to set this particular part up. So let's click on this. It says 1440 by 431, and we will just set that up as well. So let's click on the we need to go click on the main column. All right, and then let's push this up a bit. Click to add a container. All right, so the container is this. It has been added. It's 1440. It's going to be by, let's see, by 431. So 431. Okay, this is good. What we need to do now is, does it have a color? It's not showing me the color specifically, so let's leave it. Let's just assume it's white. Let's go ahead and then put a row that contains this particular content. So I will just go ahead and click on the container. First of all, before we put the row, we see things are stacked from top to bottom, so we put a column first. So we click on these and add a column, and then in the column we will add a row. In that row we will add a text. Okay, and that text is what we copied, so we paste it here, and then we check the size of the text. We check the size of the text. We have here 700 by 24. We copy the color, so let's come here and change it from 700 by 24 and paste the color of the text here, and let's click on the row itself and center align it. Okay, so that's it. Then let's check out the space between these is 80, so I will just go ahead and give it 80. Alright, so now you see we're doing some very good work. Now the next thing we need to do is these rows and these logos. It's gonna be a pretty easy thing. Okay, so let's go ahead and say click on these, add a row, and in the row we want to add an image, and then what's the dimension? So I think all of them having the same thing, so 170 by 72. Let me download one of the design. So click on this and export this particular one. Alright, so I think I will just go ahead and then just duplicate one for all, then later on we will change this. Okay, so let's go ahead and then say 170 by 71. So 170 by 71. Okay, change from network type to asset, and then go here to click on that and then get these icon, or the image actually. So with that you have this particular one already. So good, we need to go ahead and then do something. Let's duplicate it. Alright, so let's do something. So here is the second one. I'm trying to check the space between them is 24, so I will just quickly duplicate this one and then give it a padding on the left, 24, right? Okay, so then that's what we saw, right? Yes, we will just go ahead and then duplicate it again. Control D. How many are there? There are 6, so Control D, Control D, and more, one more. I will click on the row itself and center align it. Good. And then I can go ahead and then click on this and check the space between them. It says 68 between this row and this one, so it says here 68, so I will say 68. Good. And then now I will click on this and just duplicate it again. Since it was in a column, it will go top down. Okay, so I will click here to see the space between this row and this one, so it's 19. So I'll click on the second row and change this from 68 to 19. Good. Now we can later on change these logos to we can later on download each of them and then upload them. Okay, so but let's move on to something else. Let's come here to our products. So let's click on here and say 1440 by 648. Let's go ahead and click on we're gonna look for the column, the main column itself. So we click on the main column, we just click on this and then pick we're gonna put it in a container just like we did the other one. It's gonna be 1440 by 648. So it's going to be 1440 by 648. Okay, so now we're good with this. What we need to do quickly is, I like this blue environment, but I can't really get this color. We will figure it out at the end when we are polishing things up. So let's go ahead and put a row that can give us these. So I'll copy these and scroll down. Okay, first of all, we need to put it a column. These things are stacked from top to bottom, so we put a column first. Okay, so we put a column first. Good. And then in the column we begin to add our row. So we add a row here and then we add a text here. Okay, good stuff. And then here we will just paste what we copied, and we will check 700 by 40. I'll copy the color and change here, that's the text 700 by 40 and change the color, paste it here, and that's it. Click on the row itself and center align it, and then we have it like this. Not just that alone, we need to go ahead and inspect it and see this, the distance between these and the top here. So 96, and we will say 96. Okay. All right, so this is more like speed design, but it's not so much speed design. I'm designing and I'm also explaining. I believe it's really helpful. Okay, so we will go ahead and then set up a row. Then we will put columns, basically, right? So a row, then columns, then we just duplicate these things. So I'll just click on this and introduce a row. And then I'll bring in a column. The reason why this column is because this is stacked on top of this. All right, so I will click in here and put a column. We will duplicate these columns. So let's put a row first inside this. Okay, and then what are we putting inside that row? We're putting this icon here. So this is the icon. So I'll click on design and export it. All right, then I will just copy this particular okay, so what I can just quickly do, yeah, just copy this text. It says 600 by 24. Okay, so this is the first row, right? So I will just go ahead and then put an image there, right? The image size is 24. Is what? No. I think it was 24. Come on, I'm clicking it too much. So just click on it, click again, click again, click again. All right, so this is 32 by 32. So 32 by 32. Okay, so let me just bring in that image first before we continue. Okay, so I'll just click on this to upload it. It downloaded, but I can't find it. Oh, it downloaded it as a zip file. Okay, now this is going to be a bit complex for me. I don't have edit access on that. I can only view these things. Okay, so why did it download as it downloaded as a zip file? This is gonna be a bit challenging to use. Is there any other one that can download as an image? I can use it actually, it's just that I will have to know all of them are the same. Okay, so let's go ahead and then just show in folder, right? So this is the folder. I will just right click on it. Let's start with this one. Right click on this, extract file. I will just cut this out from here and put it where? Let me put it here in the folder for fonts. Just right click here and then extract files here. So I will have feature multiple, and then this is it. So I will just copy this link where it is inside my system, and then I will come here, click on it to open it. I'll just paste it here. Okay, then I'll just copy it. Just locate where you put it inside your system, and that's it. Okay, so now that is done, I need to go ahead and then click on this column and then add another row. I would have just duplicated them, but I just want to, you know, let's do something. So add a text. The text is gonna be for these parts. Sophisticated business rules. I think it was 600 by 24. So I can just paste it here. 600 by 24. Go here, change it to 600, and put these as 24. Okay, so does it have a color? Yes, let's click on this and put a color for it. Okay, so we have that. What we need to do now is this next one. So this one, yes, I will just duplicate it. Control D, and then here I will just copy this. It's 400 by 16. Click on this and paste it quickly. 400 by 16. So I'll say 400 by 16. Okay, All right, so what we need to do now is, I think we're good. We just need to go ahead and then check the dimension of this. So it says 350 by 52. So we need to put these in a rectangle, 350 by 52. So I'll click on this to wrap it in a widget that is a container. 350 by 52. Okay, so we have it like this. Good. Then clear the background color of the container itself, and then these just make it a center line, just like in the design. Okay, so then copy the color, of course, and give it the color. Did we do it before? No, we didn't. Okay, now that we have this, what we need to quickly do now is just do some arrangement. So this row that contains this, let's click on it and see the space between them. So it says here 24, this one says here 8, so we will say 24. Okay, and then for this one we will say 8. Okay, so we're trying to just look at the spacing. And then the thing we need to do now is the distance between here and here, 165. So that's gonna be for the column. So we click on the column and then say 165. Okay, believe you're getting this thing now. So now we are going to have to duplicate this column across the board, and then let's say the space between each column is 30. So I will just click on this particular one and change it to 30, and then we will go ahead and then just duplicate this column again, and that's it. Control D. Okay, now we have it like this. We're good. We will rearrange things later. So don't worry, we can always change this text and all of this. So let's see the spacing between our products and this row that contains this other text. So let's click on this first and say here it's 48. So we will say here 48. Okay, so good, we have this. We would just go ahead and duplicate it. Control D to duplicate it, and see the space here is 64. So we will say for this part is gonna be 64. So 64. We can always change what we have here, the contents. Okay, so I just wanted us to design first, then we will change the contents. Okay, so we're doing really good. What I need us to do now is we need to go ahead and then just continue working on our stuff. So we're very close to finishing. So first of all, let's do this particular part. This part is 1440 by 1253. So I will go to the column, the main column. I will say I'll click on these and say what do I say? I'll click on this and add a container, and the container is going to say width is 144T by 1253. Nice number, 1253. Okay, so this is it. So now inside this we're going to have this particular part is gonna be a row first, then we now have a column, and then an image. So here we will say click on this and say a row first. In the row we're going to say a column, and then in the column we will say give us a row, and in the row give us a text. Okay, you get the gist? I believe you do. So here it is. This is that text. We will just copy it, and it's 700 by 40. We'll paste it here and come here and change it to 700 by 40. Okay, all right. So then you can go ahead and come here and copy this and paste it as a color. Good, we're doing really good. Sincerely, we're doing really fine. So here for this particular text, I will just click on it and duplicate it so that I can use it for these particular text. So I'll just copy all of this. It's 400 by 20. I will just click here to change, click here. I'll change the size first. So say 400 by 20. because the text is much. So I will paste it here, Ctrl V, good. Now it's scattered everywhere. So what we just need to do is check the size. So to check the size of the rectangle that contains this text is 519 by 256. So let's wrap this text in a widget, wrap widget in a container that is 519 by 256. So we say 519 by 256, and then we will clear the background color, and then that's it. We have this beautiful design. So we will click on this, and then something like this. Can we get it that way? Yeah, this is it. Great. So let's click on the row and give it some, no, not that particular row, this one, the row that contains this text. So we click on this and we want to give it some padding. The padding is 32, this one is 97. So we will say this one is gonna be 32, and this one is gonna be 97. Okay, so let's see what to do here. In this one, right? So this particular row is going to be 97. So we say 97. Great. Okay, so now we have this beautiful scenario. Let's go ahead and then download this image. I'll click on it, click on design, go to export and export it. And the dimension is 558 by 404. So I will click on the row that contains all of this, click on this, add a child to this widget, and add an image. And the image is 558 by 404. It didn't work. Okay, so it did actually work. Okay, so this is the image. Let's go ahead and wrap this image in wait a minute, what did I do? Yes, let's wrap this image in a column. Yes, please wrap this image in a column. So we have to scroll up, we have our image here. Good. So it says 558 by 404. So we have 558 and we have 404. Okay, so I will go ahead and click here, network, change it to assets, and scroll down and click in here, go to downloads now, and then pick the image. So this is the image, I upload it. Okay, so this is a very intense tutorial, and I believe that you are enjoying it already, so because I am. So the spacing between these and this, let's go to inspect, and it's 29. So let's come here to the column that contains it and give it a padding on the left, 29. It's not still giving us what we need here because we've not done anything to the column on this side. So the column here, the space is 150, so we need to put here 150. Okay, so beautiful, right? Yeah, we're good. We are good. Now you see this one is on the top, but this one isn't at the top. But yeah, because I made a mistake there. I gave this particular, let's see, what did I do? Yeah, I gave this row a padding on the top. I shouldn't have done that. Let's just remove this. It is this big row that I should have given that padding on the top. Is it? Yes, it is this big row. And this would have been 97. Yes, this is how it should have been. Okay, I didn't put it. So 97. Alright, so we have the scenario now. We need to go ahead and then put, remember this is a row. Alright, so this is a container and then we have our big row. We need to go ahead and then have another row here, right? So it's gonna be a big row and it's gonna be like super big. So it's gonna, okay, so let's do it step by step. Okay, so this is our row. Let's open it, and okay, not that one, it's this one actually. So this is a row here, we can see. let's delete it. What I want to do is I want to actually put this row inside this container. So I'll click on this and put a row inside it. Okay, hold on. This is our big container that contains everything. Let's close this row first so that we can see it. So I click on this, and I want to put a row. Okay, it won't allow me to put it because it needs to be wrapped. So what I need to do is click on this first and wrap this row in a column. All right, so good, column first. Then now I can go ahead and then put a row in this column now. So 2 rows can be in 1 column. So the next thing I need to go ahead and then do is I will go ahead and then add a text inside this particular row. Okay, then this is the text. So I will just copy all of this. The size is 400 by 20 pixels. So I'll just paste it. It's a lot of text. Okay, so what we need to do now is we need to wrap it inside a container, 1440 by 608. So wrap this text, wrap these widgets inside a container that says 1140 okay, by 608. Okay, so then clear the background color and then go ahead and what do we do? Let's see. Okay, so I think it's quite big. Like the container is way bigger than normal. 114 by this. Okay, I didn't change the size of this text. 400 by 20. Okay, yeah, that's it. So I didn't change the size of the text. 400 by 20. That's why I didn't fill up everywhere. So now it fills up everywhere the way it should be. So I will just click on this and center align it. Yeah, pretty much like that. Then the space here is 48. So I'll say 48. And this is it. So okay, so I would like to bring the design to an end for now. We are going to have a part 2 to this design so that you can actually get everything in one by one. So I believe you've been able to learn some things from what I have done so far. I would like to just preview it so you can see what I have done. In the part 2 of this particular design, you will learn how to like complete everything. So what we have left is to set this particular part up, and then set this particular part up, and then set all of this up as well. So I would like you to anticipate the part 2 so that you can understand how to create this. But if I told you just want to go ahead and get a template of this, like what has been done in FlutterFlow, like a clone version of it, you can actually get to purchase that, all right, from Nocode Forest. You will see the link below where you can actually get to purchase this particular template directly, what was done in FlutterFlow. Okay, so this is the preview of the design. So everything, you can actually get to use it for your business. Okay, so I will show you how to do the second part, and then we'll wrap it up. All right guys, see you in part 2. Bye for now.